Gentlemen, we're ready to rock and roll. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. For those of you that are coming on, I want you to hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know Prophet Ramon, the squad, and the Ramon Preston Show. We are live on this Winning Wednesday right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Today is Winning Wednesday, November the 10th, 2021. We are approximately 7.5 weeks away from 2022. And I am going to continue to do my due diligence to the best of my ability to give you as much value as possible to see to it that you not only end 2021 strong, but you come into 2022 even stronger. So please hit the like button, hit the share button, text, tag, inbox, DM somebody and let them know that the Ramon Preston Show is live on this beautiful Winning Wednesday. And while you're at it, please be sure to drop in the comments what city, what state, what country you're watching your boy from. I want to give a big shout out to all of our YouTube subscribers. We have over 6,000 subscribers now. And if you're not a subscriber on our YouTube page, please do me a favor. Click the subscribe button so that you can continue to be updated and notified when we are going live and when we're dropping new content. Truth is, we have over, I think, 800 videos on our YouTube page, most of which are videos that are strategically and specifically designed to help you start, structure, and scale your businesses, your ministries, your income streams, and your wealth building dreams, because this is what we do, not just on the show, not just on our social media platforms, but this is what we do in our organizational enterprise. So I want to give a huge shout out to you that are subscribed to our YouTube page. A shout out to you if you are following us on LinkedIn. We have almost 7,000 followers on LinkedIn. Of course, we have thousands of followers on Facebook and a couple thousand on Instagram. You can find me on any of those platforms at Ramon Preston. At Ramon Preston. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. If you don't know, now you know. I'm your host, Ramon Preston, and every Monday through Friday, we bring you information, again, that is strategically and specifically designed to help you start, structure, and scale your businesses, your ministries, your income streams, your wealth building dreams. And now that we are just 7.5 weeks away from 2022, this is where we need to start clamping down and really centralizing our focus on the main things. You know, you might hear someone say, keep the main thing the main thing. And what that simply means is whatever is going to create the biggest results, whatever is going to give you the biggest bang, whatever the maximum impact points that you can find in your business, in your finances, in your life, that is, or those are the things you want to focus all your attention on, which is why today I want to talk to you about how to reposition yourself as an entrepreneur. How to reposition yourself as an entrepreneur. Now, before I give you the 3 things that I want to encourage you and recommend you to do, let me bring up a topic of discussion that I pointed out in our coaching call with our coaching clients just this past Monday. And that point was, and still is, the topic on how Mark Zuckerberg and his team literally repositioned Facebook by changing the name of their parent or umbrella organization. They went from Facebook Inc. to Meta Inc. And I was just doing a little research on this. I was just doing some research on it, and I found out something interesting, which I kind of knew. I kind of knew it, but I just didn't really pay too much attention on it because it's really not that big of a deal that Facebook still exists, at least the name and the platform that we know for social media. Instagram still exists, WhatsApp, and all the other platforms that Mark Zuckerberg and his organization owns. But what stood out to me was, if you were to Google anything about Mark Zuckerberg and this whole renaming of his organization, his parent company, to Meta, some articles and some platforms that house this information, they describe Facebook now as a subsidiary. This is one of the conversations that I was having just this past Monday. Now, why is that important? Because up until the changing or the repositioning of Mark Zuckerberg's parent organization, Facebook was not necessarily considered a subsidiary. It was considered the parent organization. This is like, y'all, if you really paying attention to the stuff I'm talking about, this is like the creme de la creme. This is like the cream of the crop of what I talk about when it comes to the holding company concept. And I just want to hit on this before I go into how you should reposition yourself as an entrepreneur, because think about it. Even if Facebook's name was just changed, well, obviously there had to be some type of organizational repositioning as well in order for Facebook now to be considered a subsidiary. Because a subsidiary, as some of you who follow me regularly may know, a subsidiary is a wholly owned entity, meaning that if your main company owns another company, like straight up owns it, you own 100% of that company, then that other company that your main company owns is a subsidiary. If you didn't own it, it would not necessarily be considered a subsidiary. And if it was not an entity, it would not be considered a subsidiary. It would probably be considered a division, just to give you the proper terminology. So why is this important? Well, because Facebook, by default, as a company, as the largest social media platform in the world, it was by default repositioned. Why? Because a person, an entrepreneur named Mark Zuckerberg, decided to reposition himself. And because he repositioned himself, he thus caused his organizational enterprise, his companies, his platforms to be repositioned. So up until this transition, Facebook was at the top, right? This is where Facebook was. And everything was under Facebook, whether it was Instagram, WhatsApp, and their other platforms. So what Mark Zuckerberg decided to do was, number one, reposition. He decided to reposition himself. This is why today I'm talking about how do you reposition yourself as an entrepreneur. Because if you're trying to reposition your products, your services, your business, your ministry, your organization, and you as an individual have not been repositioned, well, your organizational repositioning is not going to be that important. So what did Mark Zuckerberg do? He decided to reposition himself because he did not want to play under the umbrella of Facebook. Now, there are a lot of reasons why, and there are a lot of speculations why that happened. We're all speculating because nobody knows the details of what's going on in Mark Zuckerberg's head. Nobody knows all the nuances and the legalities. So to some extent, we all speculating. But if I were to speculate why Mark Zuckerberg wanted to reposition himself so he could thus, by default, reposition his organizational enterprise and the platforms and companies that are under him, is because he wanted to play in a bigger field. He wanted to diversify himself and give himself more leverage and more flexibility and freedom to do the things that he wanted to do. Now, that means from a structural perspective, he went from having Facebook at the top to having Meta at the top, and causing Facebook to now be repositioned under Meta so that he can go play in an invisible universe, or not necessarily an invisible universe, but a virtual universe. So this is very, very important. And I wanted to use this as the intro to have this discussion with you today on how to reposition yourself as an entrepreneur, because you're seeing people on like trillion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar levels doing this because they understand the power of repositioning. And you do not want to wait until 2022 to reposition yourself. Because if you wait to 2022, those of you that have W-2 jobs and you got a business on the side, you waiting until tax time, you waiting until the holiday season is over. Listen to me when I say this, and I've been saying this almost every day. You are going to be so far behind to the extent that you might become a casualty. And I'm not talking about a literal casualty. It don't mean you gonna die. What I'm saying is, from an economic perspective, you can actually become a casualty. Your business can become a casualty, because you do know 9 out of 10 businesses go out of business within the first 1 to 3 years. And there are thousands and thousands of businesses that are created every year, but then there are thousands and thousands of businesses that go out of business every year. And just because you update your annual registration with the Secretary of State, just because you still got your EIN and a bank account, that doesn't mean you still in business. If your business is not moving forward and moving up and generating revenue and creating opportunities for you and for the clients and customers and the community, you do not have a business. And this is why you have to make the decision today to reposition yourself. So let's talk about the 3 things that I believe you need to do to reposition yourself, which, by the way, in my online training program called the Blueprint Game Plan. It is our business and financial training program. I have a couple courses in there. One is called How to Pivot in a Pandemic. The other one is How to Create Certainty in Uncertain Times. Both of those courses are really centered around the economic climate that we're now in, and how we have to do things like what I'm going to be talking about today, because we are now in a different world. The truth is, if you listen to some of the trillion-dollar organizational leaders, the truth is we are literally in the middle of the digitization of the world. Many of these experts are calling the time that we're in right now the digital revolution. It's no different than other revolutions, the Industrial Revolution, or whatever the revolutions have been in the past. We are now considered to be in the middle of a digital revolution. So a lot of things are being digitized. Well, things are not just being digitized to the extent that there is no more physical asset that's needed. I mean, we still need physical contact. We still need physical products and services. We still need the presence of the physical, not just the metaphysical. But the truth is, there needs to be a convergence. Well, how are you going to converge? And let me simplify it so it don't go over your head and you think I'm talking philosophical. If you have a physical product, I'm gonna just make it real simple for you. If you got a physical product, well, a part of your repositioning is identifying ways that your physical product can connect to virtual products, and how your physical product can connect to physical services and virtual products and services. This is all a part of this convergence from analog and digital. You don't just go from analog to digital, you're actually merging both together so you can make a transition smoother. This is what you have to do as an entrepreneur, and this is about you learning how to reposition yourself as an entrepreneur. So I want to give you 3 things, and this is like the playbook, because this information that I'm sharing with you is in my Blueprint Game Plan. It's in a lot of the content that I share on social media, and it's like tied into everything that I teach and train my students and work with my coaching and consulting clients on. So how to reposition yourself as an entrepreneur. Number one, the first thing you need to do is you need to occupy Some of you already know this because you've heard me talk about it before, but I can guarantee you don't remember all the details of it. That's why I hate when people always be talking about, yeah, I know that, I heard that, yeah, I remember when you said that. Yeah, but you ain't doing nothing with it. You know why? Because studies show, even after reading something or hearing something 7 times, you still only contain about 60 to 65% of the information. So that means if you listen to me talk about one subject 7 times in depth and you pay close attention, even after the 7th time, you may only contain 60 to 65%, which means 3 to 4 out of the 10 things I said, you don't even remember. And you can hardly repeat the 5 or 6 things that you might have some recollection of. So how do you reposition yourself within the next 7.5 weeks as an entrepreneur? Well, number one, you need to occupy. What do you mean by occupy? I'm going to explain to you what I mean. What I mean is occupying is you need to fill the space that you're in. So what space are you in? Are you in the coaching space? Are you in the apparel space? I don't even know how to spell apparel. I ain't even gonna try. I just know it's apparel. Are you in the real estate space? Are you in the trucking space? Whatever space that you're in, you might be in 2 or 3 spaces. Well, the thing of it is, you have to, in order to reposition yourself as an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to occupy or fill the space that you're in. Okay? And guess what? Let me just help you understand something. The space that you are occupying, please hear me, is over occupied. This is like, Tony, you know, this is kind of like a marketing principle as well. Think about it. Let me show you how this is kind of like a marketing. I'm talking to my chief marketer in the other room. There you go. This is kind of like a marketing, like a marketing principle. You know why? Because in order to occupy over-occupied space, you actually have to learn to get more attention. Because a lot of people, if you've ever read, there's a book called The Blue Ocean Strategy. There's a book called The Blue Ocean Strategy. It's a very, very good book. And the author talks about the difference between a red ocean, just thought I'd share this with y'all, and a blue ocean. Okay? And so what he suggests is the red ocean is red because it's bloody. So sharks attract to blood, right? So this is like very occupied or over-occupied. So his premise or his thesis is you've got to create a business system that's somewhat of a blue ocean where it's easy to find. It's easy to recognize. But here is the truth. When you look at these principles of occupying, you might, watch this, need to create a blue ocean business. Think about this. You might need to create a blue ocean business, but drop that doggone blue ocean business in a red ocean. Because what you don't want to do is have a blue ocean strategy and ain't nobody swimming in your doggone ocean. It's hollow, it's dead, it's quiet. You out there in the deep by yourself. You might need to have a blue ocean business so it can be unique. It can be creative. It can be nuanced. But maybe you need to get loud. Let me give you an example of how this principle may work. You got this nice website over here, right? You done got on somebody like my CMO's nerve for 7 months, and she finally done figured out what's in your big old head to create for you. And you got this nice website, you got this amazing logo, you got a crazy name for your business, but guess what? You swimming by yourself. Over here in the red ocean, Facebook, TikTok, you don't stop, YouTube, all these red oceans, nobody knows you over here. Of course it's red. So this is why you got to learn to occupy over occupied space. You got to get loud. You got to get cray-cray. You got to get creatively cray-cray in order to get the attention that you need by occupying over occupied space. So let's go through a few things that I want to say are important for you to occupy over occupied space. Now, of course, for those of you that click the link that you see in this video, I'm giving you a $29 offer to join me next Saturday at a live event. We're going to be talking about sales and marketing. Marketing is going to be one of the key components to you generating sales that create conversions, because your sales should, to some extent, and probably to every extent, your sales should be led or preceded by marketing. So sales should follow the marketing, right? But where does all this marketing start at? Well, this marketing starts at you making the decision to occupy over occupied space. You're not the only coach. You're not the only consultant. You're not the only barber. You're not the only landscaper. You're not the only digital marketer. You're not the only whatever you are. You are not the only one. And the truth is, if you just Google the industry you're in and the city that you're in from your phone, you're going to find out there are 20,000 of you. There might be 100,000 people doing what you're doing in your community or in your city, or it may be a couple million people in your state. We don't know. But the point is, if you don't take what you do and occupy that over-occupied space, most likely you're not going to get the attention. Most likely you're not going to get the contacts. And most likely you're not going to get conversions. So guess what? You could be watching me on YouTube every day. I'm on here 5 days a week with a live show. I got hundreds and hundreds, almost 1,000 videos posted on my YouTube page. I got hundreds and hundreds more videos on my online virtual on-demand platform. I have hundreds and hundreds of other strategies and teaching lessons and sessions that I provide through workshops, masterminds, boot camps, and other live events and virtual events that I host, right? Or programs that or services that I provide, whether it's coaching and consulting. But here's the thing: even if you do not listen to me or make contact with me or convert into becoming a client or a customer for some of my products and services, as long as I keep occupying the space that I already know is over-occupied, because there are a whole lot of people out here right now talking about business, they're talking about finances, they're talking about sales, they're talking about marketing, they're talking about tax strategies, they're talking about holding companies. A whole lot of people doing it. But so what? I'm doing it. I ain't thinking about them. And I'm going to make sure I do it in a way that I over-occupy the space that I should be occupying. And I'm going to make sure that I become the loudest. I'm going to make sure that I become the brightest. I'm going to make sure that I become the one that gets enough attention so that at some point that attention creates contacts, and that contact or those contacts create conversions. So the first thing you need to focus on doing, particularly in the next 7.5 weeks, if you want to reposition yourself as an entrepreneur, the first thing you need to focus on doing is occupying over occupied space. Stop trying to wait until you feel like you the only one that's doing. You ain't gonna never be the only one doing what you're doing. And if you feel like I'm the only one doing what I'm doing and nobody does it like me, I want you to understand, I say this respectfully, nobody really cares about that but you. You're really the only one that feels like you're the only one that's doing what you're doing, how you're doing, and nobody really cares about that. So the truth is, you need to figure out a way to occupy over occupied space. Okay? That's number one. Number two, let's get to number two. For those of you that are listening to me or watching me, I really want you to click that link if you have not signed up for our upcoming sales and marketing workshop. It's $29. It's virtual access to a 4-hour event where I'm going to be teaching and training you on the nuts and bolts of marketing and sales, at least from what my team and I know and from what we have learned and from what we see works for us. We want to provide that for you. And we also give you access to 2 other workshops when you click the link RSVP and purchase it for $29. You get immediate access to a holding company workshop to teach you about how to start and structure a holding company, how to build it out with the divisions and subsidiaries, and we give you access to a financial systems workshop. We teach on QuickBooks, tax strategies, the fundamentals of accounting, and how to really put together a solid financial system for yourself and for your business. So number two, what is the second thing you need to do? The second thing you need to do after you start occupying over-occupied space is you need to become the open door. So this is like what I talk about as the open door principle. So you need to like implement the open door principle. So think about it. If I make a commitment, let's say Ramon Preston is making a commitment. I'm gonna occupy over-occupied space. When I make that commitment, what that means is every day I'm gonna show up on social media. Every day I'm gonna post on social media. I'm gonna bring value to people who need what I have on social media. I'm gonna email people that I have email information for. I'm gonna text and call people. I'm gonna knock on doors. I'm gonna get real loud. I'm gonna become like, my business is going to become like the billboard in every space that I enter into. Even space that I don't physically enter into, I'm going to virtually enter into it to make sure that everybody sees my golden arch. Everybody sees my sign, right? So that's occupying over-occupied space, and I'm going to be consistent with it. Because I need to get attention, I need to make contacts because I want to get conversions. But I got to do it every day consistently, and it may be over the course of time, but once I start getting attention, once I start making contacts, if you're understanding where I'm going with this, once I start getting attention because I'm occupying over-occupied space, and once I start making contacts, even before I make conversions, guess what I'm going to be focusing on doing? Becoming the open door. What do you mean by the open door? I have to literally create a door for people to come into. Some of you salespeople may call this a funnel or a pipeline, but I have to, how are people going to come into your sales funnel? How are people going to come into your pipeline? How are you going to generate leads and have opportunities to speak to these leads if you don't become the open door when you do occupy over occupied space? So becoming the open door is creating a level of transparent communication about things that your potential clients need solved in their lives, in their businesses, in their marriages, in their health, whatever the area is that you're providing products and services. You've got to create a transparent communication to share the most valuable content with those people. You cannot, for example, if you are a closed door, here's what you do. You give us a little bit of information right here. You probably can't even read it from the screen. It's probably hard for you to see that, right? You probably trying to look and say, what did he just write down? Put your doggone glasses on and look at that. Look at what I just wrote there. This is a closed door form of communication. You got to become an open door. And the open door is, I'm going to give it to you. Here it is right here. Information. I'm going to give it all to you. I'm going to share it all with you because I want you to know I got it. I'm an open door. Listen, I implement this every day. Just within the last couple of hours, I was literally going through my what do you call it? It's the YouTube studio, you know, like the back office for YouTube where you can see the comments and the analytics and everything. And I do this almost every day. I go through, especially on YouTube. I don't always do it on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn as much as I do on YouTube, because that's the most engagement we get is on YouTube. But just to explain to you my point, I was just on there going through and looking at all the questions that people typically send me. A lot of these questions are questions that I already know. People just want answers, and they don't want to have to call in. They don't want to have to purchase something. So maybe in a crazy way, they want to hack and get an answer so that they don't have to buy it. It's a cheap way of doing it. But guess what? There are some people who I've answered their questions to, and they've circled back around at some point and they've purchased something, whether it's a live event, a virtual event, whether it's our blueprint online program, whether it's our coaching. At some point they purchase something. They might even go to Amazon and just buy one of my books for $15, $20. Or whatever the case is. Maybe they don't buy anything, but they just show up and watch me every day because they enjoy it. Well, guess what? I can create that if I become the open door, because now I create transparent communication to bring value to the community of people who could potentially be my clients, because these are the problems that they're having, and these are the questions that they need answered, and the things that they need to be fixed and solved in their lives with regard to some things that I am sharing. So you have to become the open door. You cannot wait. You cannot wait, because a lot of entrepreneurs do this. A lot of y'all do this. You scared to share anything you know with people. You like, I ain't giving away my stuff for free. Well, you still gonna be at zero. Whether you give it away for free and don't get nothing for it, or keep it and don't get nothing for it, you're still at zero, right? So if you have valuable information that you can share, then you share that information and you provide value to people, because you want your business to have an open door policy, not just an open door policy for the staff. You know, like my executive suite, the door is open. Okay, well, even if it ain't open, it's an open door policy. If somebody needs to come talk to me, they can walk in. But I want the community to feel that way. I want the social media world to feel that way. And the only way they're going to experience that is if you become the open door. And as the open door, you've got to get creative in your communication. You've got to become number one, you got to get transparent as the open door. So think about your open door policy. You got to get transparent. What is transparent? Meaning that let's look at it this way. If you're transparent, that means you got a clear glass between you and the world. You got a clear glass. And transparency goes a long way. Because I can watch people on social media. I can watch people who talking about stuff on social media, and I can tell when they lying. Sometimes I can. Not all the time, but sometimes I can tell when people are lying, or when people are just really not comfortable with what they talking about. And one of the reasons why they're not comfortable with what they talk about is because they're lying to themselves, trying to be a version of themselves that they're not. So yes, I get on here a lot of times, I goof off, I click, I say things, you know, like off the rail. But guess what? Everybody that knows me knows that's how I am. Everybody knows that I'll say what I want to say. I'm not going to cuss you out. I'm not going to be disrespectful. You know, I'm not going to do anything illegal or immoral, because I'm a man of God. I love God. I love his people. I respect my family. I have dignity. But at the same time, my family and the people that know me, they know I'm ghetto. They know I'm hood, but they also know I'm intelligent. They also know that I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm talking about. And because I do know what I'm doing and I do know what I'm talking about, I can be free to be myself. And even if I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to still be free to be myself and just tell you I don't know what I'm talking about. It is what it is. But for those of you that want to reposition yourself as entrepreneurs, you got to start today to, number one, occupy over-occupied space. Nobody cares about your website. Nobody cares about your EIN. Nobody cares about how you got your company structured as a LLC. Nobody cares about all the nice paperwork and PowerPoints you put together. Nobody cares about your domain. Nobody cares about all this other little fancy stuff that you think is important. Nobody really cares about you and your products and services. So what you got to do is just get past all that and say, forget it. Ain't nobody going to care about it anyway, other than the people who going to care about it. So let me just go ahead and occupy over occupied space. Let me be myself. Thank you for letting me be myself. Wasn't that a song? Wasn't that a song? Thank you for letting me be my C. Bada bing, bada boom. So occupy over occupied space and become the open door. So you need to be transparent. You need to get clear on who you are. That you just got to get clear on who are you. Well, my name is Ramon Preston. I'm a prophet. I'm an ex-felon, an ex-drug addict, an ex-convict, an ex-hood figure. I've gone from hood figure to 7 figures. I'm a business owner. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a granddaddy. I'm a friend. I'm a hot mess sometimes. But I'm me. I'm me, and you need to be you. You need to be you. And you need to be okay being you. Because see, I want to be an open door. I want my life to be an open door policy. I want people to know and feel. Now, it doesn't mean when I go into certain circles, I don't handle myself a certain way now. I know how to respect the game. Okay? So sometimes when you go into certain environments, don't be acting stupid now. Act like you got some dignity and some class and common sense and go in there and talk like you know what you're talking about. Don't go into me and my wife was just on a business conference call with some people in real estate and mortgages, and we was talking a whole lot of sophisticated $1 million talk, right? And I wasn't on there goofing off. I wasn't on there cutting up. I wasn't on there shooting the breeze and joking. I was on there talking like I understood the sophistication of that conference call. So my point is, when you are reaching out to your community, people want to be able to know you and trust you and like you. And I'm going to talk about that a different time because I got that in one of my courses as well. So your open door policy, you need to be transparent. You got to be transparent, right? But guess what? Not only do you need to be transparent, but let me just put this down. Can you read that? Can y'all read that from in there? Yeah. What does it say? Oh, you goofy. Transparent. What's under transparent? Believable. You got to be believable. You got to be believable. And I can tell you, I've had a lot of people that reach out to me, and y'all have heard it too. People have reached out to us and said, I was just watching him and I just felt good about him. I felt like he was real. He was being honest and upfront, and it is. I'm not finna be capping. I'm gonna keep it real and keep it 100. Because number one, I don't care what nobody think about me. I do care, but I don't care. Let me just put it that way. I do care, but I don't care. And the times that I do care is only momentarily until I don't care no more. So you got to be transparent. You got to be believable. And if there's any other thing, that I would add to this just to make you feel real good about what I'm sharing with you, I will put, you got to be valuable. You can't tell me stuff that I can actually find somewhere else. It needs to be valuable. It needs to be valuable. Like, if you notice, there are a lot of people who, do y'all see that? Like, there are a lot of people who we talk to who might not even be clients yet or customers yet, but when we talk to them, there are certain things they have heard me say on some of those videos, or we say to them when we talk to them, that they be like, man, nobody ever told me that. Or nobody would ever go that deep with giving me that information so I can understand what I need to do. Guess what that's called? It's called value. It's called value. But if I didn't open the door through transparency, through believability, they would have never gotten the value, because they would have just tuned me off. They would have just tuned me off. All right, number 3. This is so good. This is so good. This is so good. And you know what's even gooder about it? What's even gooder about it is all this information that I'm sharing with you, it's in our online training program. Like literally, it is. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It is. It's in there. Can y'all, I don't think y'all can see it behind me. Can y'all see that? Yes. All right, let me see if I can pull up the university. Ramon Preston University. I want you to go to there so you could see what I'm talking about. This is our blueprint game plan. These are our courses right here. I just want to show you, I got these courses in here. Where are they? Right here. One is here, Post-Pandemic Business Solutions. See that? Post-Pandemic Business Solutions. If you open it up, I'm showing you the details on packaging your talents to occupy space, doing business in a pandemic, the 99-to-1 ratio, the prophetic pivot, the power of research and development. That's one course. I got another course in here that's relative to the pandemic. Right here, how to create economic certainty in uncertain times. I explain what economics are. I show you how to get in the know, how to do the math, how to implement and execute your strategies. So these are things that I don't just talk about, but I teach on in depth, and I live it in my life. So number 3, the third thing on how to reposition yourself as an entrepreneur is, number 3, you need to you see I used all O's. Number 1, occupy. Number 2, open door. Number 3, overcompensate. I don't know. It's just, I know a lot of you are like that. This is why I want you to really use these 3 principles, because I always tell church people this when I talk with them about business, that we are some of the most creative, gifted, extremely generous people on the planet. We really are. And the more prophetic you are, it seems like the more creative and the more generous you become. This is one of the reasons I teach on prophetic ministry. I have a school of prophets on my online platform, and I've taught prophetic schools for years, and I love teaching prophets and prophetic people because they are so creative and so generous. Because it's like, when you're hearing from God, or even if you believe you're hearing from God, think about it, and God telling you to do something for somebody, it's hard not to do it when you believe in your heart God, the creator, the sovereign Lord of the universe, just told you to do something for that person. So my point is, as a business owner who is extremely creative or prophetic, or however you want to word it, it's going to be your instinctive nature to overcompensate with your clients. So you tell your clients, okay, listen, I'm going to do this job for $999. Just give you an example, right? You'll say, okay, I'll do it for $1,000. Trust me when I tell you this, and some of you entrepreneurs know what I'm talking about. The moment they pay that $999, you already thinking about how to do more than what you told them you're going to do. So you could have said, I'm going to give you this for $999, and I'm going to talk to you once a week, every week for a month. All of a sudden, that once a week going to be, well, I know it's the first week, but I need to talk to you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So you done gave them 4 in 1 week when you told them you was going to give them 4 in 1 month. And then by week 2, you're going to be like, you know what? I know I told you I was going to do A, B, and C, but I'm going to go ahead and do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because if you only get D, you're going to be short with E, F, G, and you're going to need that. So by the time you get that client to week 4, when that $999 is supposed to be up, you done gave them $39.99 worth of stuff, meaning that you what? You overcompensated. So I'm never concerned about what I am unable to do for people who trust me with their hard-earned money to help them in their business and their finances. As a matter of fact, all of you that's in our coaching program, we just started this one-year business coaching program when? April? We launched it April 1st of this year. We launched it April 1st of this year. So how many months is that? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So we've only been in this program for 7 months. And how many times have I changed it? But it like, I got work, I added workshops, I done added deep dives. I mean, we done did all kind of stuff. We done added a Facebook group. We done added a weekly coaching call. Like, I started out with, I'm gonna just do this, that, then the other. And my whole team like, you sure? Yeah, I ain't doing no more. And then like a month later, I come in here one more and I'm like, y'all know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and just add this, that, then the other. And now like a month later, I'm like, you know what? In addition to that, I think this will help because I want to overcompensate. So all of you that's watching me, how to reposition yourself as an entrepreneur. How do you do it? Number one, you occupy over-occupied space. Number two, you implement the open door policy. And number three, you overcompensate. You over-deliver. If you do those three things within the next 7.5 weeks, I can almost guarantee that you're going to make more money, you're going to get more attention, you're going to make more contacts, you're going to see more conversions, and you're going to have more opportunities at your disposal, and you're going to be able to bless more people, because that's what it's about. It's about helping more people, serving more people, being a blessing to your church, to your family, to your community. These are the things that you will be able to do once you start generating more revenue in your organization. So for those of you that are watching, please be sure to click that link. I want you to join me next Saturday for our sales and marketing workshop. It's only $29. You could click the link in the comments or in the description. It will direct you and prompt you to RSVP. It's only $29 for the sales and marketing workshop. And while you're waiting for it to come next Saturday at 12 noon, it's going to be from 12 to 4, you're going to have the next week or so to go through the other two free workshops we're giving you access to, the holding company workshop and the financial systems workshop. For those of you that have been thinking about joining our one-year business coaching program, I've been announcing it for the past 2 days, and I want to say it again, and I'm going to keep saying it. As of December 31st of 2021, the one-year business coaching program will no longer exist. So we're not going to be continuing that program into 2022. We're going to be discontinuing it, ending it at the end of this year. So I would urge you to get in now before I change my mind, because I might do it before December 31st. Truth is, we're probably going to end it before then, because we know we're going to have like a 2-3 week holiday season from Christmas, you know, like the week before Christmas, then you got the Christmas week, and then you got the New Year's week. So we'll probably discontinue it early, because we're going to be making sure that we put as much effort and energy into the people who are already in our coaching program. So if you would like more information on our one-year business coaching program and learn what the benefits are, other than what you may read on our website, feel free to text the word coaching to 404-478-7213. I appreciate all of you. I apologize for being tardy this week. I don't think one day this week since I've been back in person live, I've come on at 12. But hey, it is what it is. If you know what I've been dealing with, you'd be like, man, I understand, bro. So not one day. And it's going to be like that until I feel like I'm back at 100. So like I've been grinding right now. I've been in a grind, but I'm showing up. You know, I might be showing up at 12:15. Today was like 12:35, but at least I showed up. Hey, let me know what you think about today's show. What did you learn? What's your biggest takeaway? And let us know how we can help you in your business, whatever it is, with sales, with marketing, with your holding company, with your financial systems. You may need some other strategies on expanding. Just let us know. We're here for you. So we love y'all. Have an amazing Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time on the Ramon Preston